Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. Tonight we're going to be talking about the brand new M18 compact drill driver and impact driver. So let's go ahead and get right into that on Tinker with Tools. Alright, so here you have it. This is the brand new compact combo kit from Milwaukee. This is model number 369222. And as a kit, this is going to be sold for $239. Now in this kit, you do get model number 3601, their half-inch compact brushless drill driver, and model number 3650-20, which is going to be their variable speed brushless compact impact driver. Now, I did say this is the model that is just variable speed only. They also do have a model 3651 that is going to have 3 different speed modes that are going to be available via a little selector down here on the base. And obviously there's also a 3602-20, which is going to be the compact hammer drill version of this. Gets a little bit longer, but does also then have the hammer function to it. In the drill, you're going to be getting 550 inch-pounds of torque and up to 1700 RPMs in speed 2. And then over on the impact driver, this is in my opinion where the specs get a little crazy. There's 1700 inch-pounds of torque in this drill. Now that's not necessarily the crazy part. It does offer 3600 RPMs, which is a pretty high speed, especially in this compact segment. And then probably the even crazier thing is that you are going to be getting 4900 impacts per minute. That is, I believe, 400 or so higher than any impact driver I've ever tested on this channel in terms of impacts per minute. But what really stands out about these tools is just how compact they are, especially looking at the previous generation of brushless compact tools that we had on the M18 lineup. When you compare the impact driver to, say, the M12 Fuel, it is noticeably more compact in the head than that tool. The drill driver, likewise, is actually shorter and more compact than the M12 Fuel drill. Now, obviously, if we compare them to the M18 predecessors, it is just night and day difference in terms. There's almost a full inch off this tool. Not necessarily so much in the shortness of the tool, although it is shorter. This one is just so much more slender in the head. So now, when it comes to those specs on paper, those sound great. They are better on paper than the M12 Fuel, but in the real world, how are they going to test out against those tools? Let's go ahead and show you some comparisons of the specs, and then we'll get right into some testing where you can see how they stack up to their M12 counterparts. All right, so we're back for some conclusions. It is a different night. I originally mistakenly recorded the conclusions in slow motion with no audio. So instead of subjecting you to that, I've come back down here on the night I'm editing to re-record the conclusions. So first off, I want to tell you, M12 is not going anywhere. The performance tonight of these tools losing out to their M18 compact counterparts is not an indictment against M12, the fuel lineup especially. These are still great tools. They still are going to have a place for a lot of people. And there's a lot of things about this fuel kit that are nicer than the M18 compact. We'll talk about some of in a minute. Weight is going to be the other thing. As nice and compact as these tools are, the weight is still less on M12. And M12 is a lineup almost unto itself that is not going to be going anywhere. They're still releasing great new tools, specifically on M12, and I think that tells you what Milwaukee thinks of this lineup going forward. There's still a lot of life in this lineup. All right, so then what are my opinions and conclusions with the M18 compact kit? I was initially very impressed at the compactness, specifically of the impact driver. The drill driver's kind of right where I expected it to be, but both tools are smaller than the M12 fuel. Now, obviously, the batteries are going to be heavier than their M12 counterparts. That is something that you're going to be seeing. Overall, the tools did not perform poorly on the CP 2.0s. I believe both of them still outperformed the M12, even on a high output battery, on the CP 2.0. So I think when it comes with that battery, it's not a terrible thing to run it. But the impact driver specifically really, really loves that high output 3.0 battery with the 21700 cells. It became a different tool altogether and posted some really impressive numbers. The specs on paper are just right there. There are some downsides to the impact driver. The lack of a quick insert collet is something for me. Obviously, the lighting is not as premium as what we now have on the fuel variants, either in the M18 or the M12. And so I think you do notice a couple of things where maybe corners were cut. The other con, probably most with the impact driver, is just going to be the amount of heat this thing generated. I'll put the graph up now. It really got quite toasty in that testing. So the fact that it got up above 130 degrees is not something I love to see, but at the end of the day, I don't think that most people are going to be pushing the tool in that manner. It did not seem to affect the tool performance at all, so that is worth noting. That is just an item of note that I do feel like I need to pass on to you. Now, when it comes to the drill driver, overall the performance on the drill driver was almost as expected. Its figures are not necessarily class leading by any means. We do have a couple that are up in the 600 inch-pounds. The speed is kind of right there where I'd expect it, but the build quality of this compared to some of the competition does feel better. I've had people remark all week on the shorts that I posted about each one of these individually that the tools almost look cheap. I can tell you that in person, the build quality of the tools is decent. The fuel versions I do think still feel more premium, but these don't necessarily feel bad. The only knock on the drill driver, in my opinion, is just that the chuck, while all metal, and that's something I really like to see because I do think it's going to be rugged and durable, it is a little bit slippery, especially compared to what I've become accustomed to with the fuel versions where they've got that nice knurling on it. That is absent here. And so as I was trying to really get a good grip to tighten down on a bit, it just didn't always feel like it had the most grip on it. Now, in terms of heat, this one did get warmer than the M12. It wasn't a significantly higher temperature than what I saw on the M12 drill, so I don't know how concerned I am compared to how it was there. All right, so now let's talk about the price. I've mentioned it already, $239 for this kit. I'll have the bare tools linked down below as well in case you don't want to buy the kit. $239 is a little bit more premium pricing than what I would expect in this segment. When I picked up the Metabo HPT, it was for $149. The Flex is $199, and that's probably in build quality right where this one is. So overall, I think the price point is a bit of a reach, but if you're already on the M18 lineup and you just want something more compact, the performance certainly was impressive, and so I do think that there is something here with these tools. They definitely are intriguing to me, and I'm excited to see where the performance is when we start comparing it to others. All right, so if you have any questions about either of these tools, about the kit in general, please go ahead and leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, I'll catch you on Tinker with Tools.